Hey, this is Brandon Crouch from the Appetite for Discussion show, and you are listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Show.
Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's two guys' take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Busted Nuckle studio right here in beautiful downtown historic Concord, North Carolina. I'll be your host, Biggin, and how about you? We've got a great show lined up for you, as always, but before we begin, let me introduce you to the second half of this flaky biscuit. That's right, I am talking about the pride of Anderson, South Carolina, but most of you probably know him best as the Silver-Tongued One, the 2016 defending national champion himself, the inventor of the redneck egg roll. Give it up on old mic number one, it's Mojo!
What did the one casket say to the other casket?
I have no idea.
Is that you coughing? Hey, hey, thanks for listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. You can find us on the iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeart, Spotify, Pocket Cast. Pretty much anywhere you listen to a podcast, you can find us there. Just search Southern Fried Philosophy. We should pop up there, the old yellow logo with red writing. Give us a subscribe, a like, a review. Share those favorite episodes. That's the most important thing right there. You can also go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com, our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy, our Twitters and Instagram at SFP Radio, and what else we got for us? I guess Patreon. What's our Patreon?
Yeah, our Patreon, patreon.com/SFP Radio. And if you would like to be part of the SFP family, we would love to have you. You can become a member just by signing up, giving us $5, $15, or $20 a month. We would greatly appreciate it. We need things like new microphones, and by goodness, good gravy, we need a new laptop. This thing is on its last leg, Chief. I'm telling you.
Speech lessons for me. So.
It is awful. So you can go check out our link. Also, it's on the southernfriedphilosophy.com website. Just click on that link, and you can join the family. We want to say thank you and shouts out to our new listeners from Hurricane, West Virginia, Montezuma, Georgia, and Hollywood, Florida. All of them are natural disasters.
I would love to know where Hurricane, West Virginia is. I love West Virginia.
Google, and you can just look it up.
I love West Virginia. Just kind of curious where it would be.
Yeah. In studio with us, we have got Marty McFly. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And so we've got some good things to cover for this show. I'm going to ask you like I ask you every week, Mojo, how you be doing?
I'm great, but man, I knew I would swore I wouldn't do this, but
oh no,
it's cornstarch time of year
already.
It is blistering hot.
Do you go for the cornstarch or the Gold Bond?
I go for cornstarch because you can get 10 boxes for $1.
Okay,
so and it lasts a while.
But y'all, that Gold Bond menthol underneath the twig and berries. Hey, buddy. There ain't nothing like it. I am telling you what.
I do the old cornstarch.
Marty, any?
No secret remedies there.
No, you just let her go.
Let her roll. See what happens.
Yeah.
So how you be doing?
I'm good. We had celebrated Memorial Day. We had a good time with that. Did you guys do anything special?
We cooked out some burgers and dogs and sat back and had a few adult beverages, but that was pretty much it. I mean, it was kind of relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the same. A couple days of grilling, a couple days of hanging by the pool.
God bless.
So it wasn't too bad.
We had the kid and then the little brother. They have now formed the Holy Terror.
An alliance
that is just, I love them to death, but hey, buddy, they're now BFFs, and I can't separate them even if I wanted to.
That's good.
It's great. I appreciate the 14-year-old taking care of the 8-year-old.
Oh yeah,
have a little bit of a break.
That's such a age difference too.
Sure.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. So they had a good time together. They played water, with the water guns and the hose. We had a great time with that. Now, the thing about our backyard is we never went out and cleaned it up. So there's rocks in the middle of our yard.
Right.
There's broken glass that we have no idea where that came
from. Horseshoes from 1870.
You're right. I mean, no telling what's underneath there. So they'd be playing in the water, and all of a sudden, ow! Ow! I'm like, oh, what happened? I got cut. I'll just throw it over there and keep playing. All right.
Have you been updated on your tetanus?
Yeah. Well, only one of them has, so there's that. So that's good.
It's a 50-50 shot.
But it was good. We, my wife made homemade ice cream.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't had that in a long time.
Dude, we did the same thing Monday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Memorial Day we had homemade ice cream as well.
What's your favorite flavor?
We did strawberry Monday.
Okay.
One of my buddies came over, brought his kids, and as a surprise, he brought the maker, all the ingredients. So
nice.
I mean, it was not. I had 2 bowls of it. I mean,
very cool.
It was very nice.
My wife will make peach ice cream.
Peach is my favorite.
From peaches from Georgia. Which, hey, buddy, this last go around we did cookies and cream, but she used the Borden's whole chocolate milk. Y'all.
Good stuff.
Y'all.
Now, who sacrificed their Oreos for the cookies part?
Oh, we just bought extra, so we had our own bag, and then we could just sacrifice those. But y'all, have you had the Borden's whole chocolate milk?
I have not.
Good. Stop on the way home.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I tell you what, there's actually a couple of local dairies that make chocolate milk. And it's the full fat. You got to shake it because it's got all the cream on top.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
That's some good chocolate milk. I'll check out the Borden's chocolate milk.
It's
I'm a chocolate milk fiend.
Are you?
Yeah, I love it.
One of our questions of the week, Ask Us Anything, was from Ryan Ray. Speaking of things to drink, what's y'all's favorite beer?
Marty,
beer?
I'll let you go ahead and start this out.
Dude, that could take a whole podcast. I'm an IPA guy for the most part.
Okay.
I do really enjoy a good full flavor IPA. I'm not going to name one particular one just because I am in the industry.
Sure,
and
I understand.
It would be self-serving to name one of my own.
Right.
It might make some other people angry if I name somebody else's.
Okay, I understand.
But, I'll stick with styles. IPA is one of my favorite. I do love a really good sour.
Okay.
And lately,
Those have become popular.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's hot. That kind of helps a little bit.
I did not enjoy the IPAs when I first started, but I'm actually, the hotter it gets, the more I'm like, I'm going to lean over to that side a little bit more. What about you?
On my diet, because I try to, when I do the keto, keto people are annoying because you hear them talk about it's like CrossFitters and vegans, But when I'm on the diet, I drink Mick Ultra because it's only like 2 carbs of beer, so I save all my carbs up. That way, I could at least have
20 of it, 10. Yeah.
but no, I do enjoy the IPAs. I tend to. I like the thicker beers. I like the stouts, the porters. The imperial stouts are probably my favorite. I do like the Doppelbocks, things like that. But and also this time of year, the Kolsch's.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll drink almost anything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to discriminate. It's just I have my if I'm going to go buy something for myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I walk into your house and you offer me a beer, I'm probably going to drink it.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, each one of those styles, I probably could tell you a favorite one of those beers. But the problem now, the beer is just that there's so many companies out there now. I mean, when I went to Texas, I was impressed to see a brewery in the middle of nowhere. I mean, and pumping out some good stuff. Yeah. So,
have you had the Goose Island Bourbon County Stout?
I have not had that one yet. No.
That is by far my most favorite beer. It's so thick. You can compare it to Mrs. Butterworth's syrup.
Like oil almost?
Syrup. Yeah.
Almost. Okay.
Yeah, it's
syrup's
so
a better
thick.
comparison.
Yeah, than motor oil. And it's got so much flavor. So it only comes out once a year, and you can only buy 1 bottle per person when you go to the store because they're so limited. Yeah. So I'll go in, I'll buy 1 and leave. My wife will go in and buy 1 and leave, and then we'll go to like 4 or 5 different stores.
Just carry a bunch of like disguises.
Yeah, like little mustache man. But by the time I go through, then they forget, and then I just go back. But I mean, it's so sought after. They limit on how much you can get.
Wow.
So it's rough.
That wasn't me. That was my twin brother Daryl that just came.
My other brother Daryl.
It's like the Minions.
Now that's the really fat one back there. He's coming in next. So anyway, that's my favorite beer. So that was a question from our listener and Patreon. Ryan Ray. So appreciate that.
Well, you brought up the bourbon beer.
Yeah.
Our friends over at Cabarrus Brewing today just picked up some barrels from Southern Grace Distilleries.
Okay.
So I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen with that. So
Yeah.
they, I don't know what their plan is. I just kind of saw the social media post, but
they're either going to age some beer, or they looked at too many Pinterest posts and they're going to make some.
they're going to make some big flower pots.
That or some furniture. Somebody's wife wanted 4 chairs for their table.
Have you seen those? Those are legit looking.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
They're really cool. Yeah. I've got a buddy, Kentucky Nose. If you're in Frankfurt area, go check out Kentucky Nose or check him out on the website, KentuckyNose.com. He does bourbon barrel coffee, but then he also makes a lot of furniture out of the bourbon. And the light that we have hanging out in our dining room is actually made by him from bourbon barrels. So it's a nice
cool
light,
spot. Too.
Yeah. So let's go to some wacky news brought to you by Webmerized. If you need a clean, crisp website, go check out our friends at Webmerized.com. That's Webmerized.com. Owners of Noah's Ark replica are suing insurer over flood damage. The irony. The irony!
Now, is this the one up in Kentucky?
The one in Kentucky. Gotcha. They are suing their insurer because the road getting to it had intense rain on it on 2017 and 18, and it made the harsh terrain dangerous to get things in and get people in. So they sued. They had $1 million worth of damages. The insurance company said that they were not going to cover $1 million worth of damages, so they are now suing them. Because of the rain.
Insurance said you should have followed the plans.
You should have done a better parking lot.
This is only 90 cubits, not 80.
Oh, yeah.
So the damage was to the parking and infrastructure to get to the facility, not the actual
ark. Right. Okay. But it is a replica of the Old Testament ark, 510-foot wooden ship straight out of the Old Testament. It's a massive, massive ship.
Will it float?
Well, clearly it will. If it's done it once, it'll probably do it again.
Yeah, but that was Noah's. I'm talking about this one.
Yeah, the other Noah's was. I'm pretty sure Noah's was divinely blessed.
Throw a couple of Johnson outboards on that bad boy in Kentucky.
That looks like it would float.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it looks like it could be paper mache from where
that is true. That is true. But the irony, I thought that was funny.
No, absolutely. It's like. It's almost like God thumbed their nose at him and said, "Yeah,
You think you got something special there, do you? Let me show you this. All right, here's another one. A traveler is fined $15,000 for smuggling thousands of live leeches into a Canadian airport. A traveler was caught with 5,000 leeches in his luggage, fined $15,000 by trying to get into Canada. He was carrying these leeches because he's stating that it's for bloodletting.
Medicinal purposes.
Yeah. Evidently, these things can actually be sold on the black market for $20 a pop, estimating probably about $100,000 of commercial of revenue if you sold them commercially. Y'all, I wouldn't want to be on the airplane with 15,000 leeches or 5,000 leeches.
Well, I know people.
What happens if they get out?
I know people that, like, if a bug flies by them, they itch for like 30 minutes thinking a bug's crawling on them. Could you imagine some lady like that's on the plane with that dude and then find out he had like 10,000 leeches? She's probably showering like every 30 minutes.
I'm just waiting for the drug cartel to get in this, and they're going to be like, you know what? We can have our mules take this anally. Swallow this balloon tube full of maggots.
Full of leeches.
Yeah.
Oh,
but how is bloodletting still a thing, y'all?
That's still a thing, man.
How, have we not learned that there's no such thing as bad blood?
Well, but the leeches do a little bit different. Like the bloodletting, it was just that's what killed Washington, I believe.
Yeah.
They basically just lacerated him so many times where he lost too much blood. So the leeches actually recirculate the body, or recirculate the blood back into the system. So that's
they take the platelets and put the blood back or something.
Yeah,
like that. Something weird like that. Yeah.
Some anticoagulant in their saliva.
Right.
That's what it's saying. But I thought we were past that, y'all.
Do you guys watch Game of Thrones? I mean, there was. I
haven't seen this. I haven't seen the episode.
There was a scene a couple seasons ago where this witch was using dude's blood to cast a spell, and the way she extracted the blood was with a leech. So maybe it's a whole witchcraft thing. Maybe they're extracting witches. Blood, and then they burn the leech to. I don't know. I mean, dude, I'm just throwing something out there.
We're using leeches and we're using tilapia skin to create things.
What are we using tilapia skin for?
You wouldn't want me to tell you because you'll get embarrassed.
That's not wacky.
You'll get secondhand embarrassment.
Oh, no. Last but not least, a possible Bigfoot sighting reported in northeast Georgia, according to a Facebook page, where all good news comes from. A suspected Bigfoot was found in northeast Georgia on the website Expedition Bigfoot. It's a museum in Cherry Log, Georgia. They took a picture of the foot. Let me just go ahead and go through this article. The gentleman said that he saw a large 7 to 8 foot tall, hairy, two-legged creature with a pointed head walking along the shoulder of the road into the woods around 8:30 in the morning on Monday, May 20th. They have a camera that can take a picture of the foot, but they don't have a camera when they actually see the Bigfoot.
Oh, never.
That's my problem. Y'all.
Well, he neglected to say this big hairy fellow was carrying a suitcase full of Milwaukee's best and a carton of smokes. So we salute you, Mr. Beerman.
Cut off jean shorts and a tank top.
This was the second sighting in the past 2 weeks. There was also another one on Memorial Day saying that the man saw a Sasquatch-looking figure go through a field, kneel down at a branch where trout are present, and evidently got a fish, and then walked into the woods. The second one in 2 weeks.
Or if it's the Jack Link's rep.
Is this the same field where they pick mushrooms?
Well, that's a good point. I've actually been at this area, Clayton, Georgia.
Oh, I've been through Clayton all the time. In fact, I'm going through Clayton this weekend.
You really?
Yeah.
I love.
I'll keep my camera on me and my head on a swivel.
Wow.
GoPro, man. That way you get everything you see.
You don't. How do they not have cameras on them? He said he stopped and looked at them for 10 minutes. Y'all!
He stopped and looked at them for 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Where's your phone? Good gracious. What are you doing?
In 10 minutes, you could have Googled a picture of Bigfoot to make sure it was him.
I think 10 minutes you could have downloaded an app and hand sketched him on your phone there, too. So.
Here is breaking news from the actual guy that saw him.
This thing was 10 foot tall. He had beautiful hair. And I said, get away from here. Get. And he went right back out that path again.
I can't get enough of that guy. I love him so much. Anyway, so if you have any Bigfoot sightings, please just, take a picture of them. Use your camera, and for crying out loud,
make sure it's not Aunt Ethel before you.
Oh, that would be awful. What if you posted that? I was like, I made a mistake.
Yeah, made a mistake.
I don't have the article, but did you see where there was a pilot that took pictures of UFOs while he was in flight?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I did not.
I heard the article. I heard some folks talking about it. But
you heard the article.
I heard the article. Heard some folks talking about it. Said that it was estimating traveling like 2,000 to 3,000 miles an hour. It went so fast, and then just stopped, and then started back again.
Dang, we had to check that out.
Yeah.
Did you hear that on Coast to Coast?
No, it was on Rick and Bubba, who was listening to Coast to Coast.
Oh, okay.
So there's that.
I got you.
But it was one of the first few times that a pilot actually took video of it and then posted it as well.
We're going to find that video.
Yeah, we'll have it up. Yeah.
It's probably experimental military craft.
Yeah. I mean, it is a UFO. It's unidentified, but probably not the alien guy.
Right.
So, all right.
Aliens wouldn't stop here. I mean, think about it. If you've got the intelligence and the technology to move from interstellar travel, are you really... I mean, with the stuff we beam into space, are you going to stop here?
That's what I never understood about the Avengers, is why is he so concerned out of the entire universe? Why are you so concerned about a little planet? What is it going to do?
Well,
nothing.
We pissed him off.
Well,
all right, hold on. I have not seen these movies, so
all right.
Of course, I haven't seen Lion King either. So
we got to get on that one. All right, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have some hot topics and our special guest Brandon Crouch for Appetite for discussion. All that and more on this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. We'll be right back. If you are in the market for a high-quality cigar for a very reasonable price, you must check out Watchman Cigars. Watchman Cigars is a family-owned business that puts the customer first with the best customer service in the business. Watchman Cigars offers the Habano for a full, spicy flavor, the Connecticut for a mild, easy-to-smoke option, and the Maduro for a strong, powerful experience. They even do specialty blends and partner with you to provide a custom exclusive line just for you. Watchman Cigars has all your cigar needs. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Watchman Cigars 1991 or email Leon directly at Watchman_cigars@yahoo.com. That's Watchman_cigars@yahoo.com, or check out the sponsors section of our website. All right, we are back. You are listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, and we have a tech update.
Yes, I love technology, but not as much as you see. But I still love technology, always and forever. Always and forever. Always and forever.
All right, so, by the way, that was from Napoleon Dynamite, one of the greatest movies ever made.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I've got a little Boston Terrier at home, and his name's Winston, but I call him Napoleon, or sometimes Napoleon Dynamite, because he's, he thinks he's Napoleon, but he's also about as intelligent as Napoleon. So, as a joke the other day, I told my wife I was going to buy him a Vote for Pedro shirt. And they actually make dog T-shirts that say Vote for Pedro.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they do.
I was like, that's pretty good.
What's your favorite Napoleon Dynamite line?
I love the, what are you going to do today, Napoleon? Whatever I want, God. But I think the best thing is when they feed the llama steaks.
Right. Eat your dinner, Tina.
Yeah.
I love Kip where he's like, I'm going to throw this football over this mountain. I can't get enough of that. All right. Anyway, so last week I talked about that it was my Christmas Eve, and I finally was going to get a new phone. I did get the new phone. This is the OnePlus 7 Pro. I don't know if you guys look at how beautiful that looks. Isn't that
That's very nice, man?
Nice, man.
Very nice phone. It has got a fluid AMOLED screen. One of the big things about this is it's a 90 hertz refresh rate. So most things are like either 30 or 60. This sucker goes to 90, which means it just goes a lot smoother, quicker.
Okay, so it doesn't like jump as much when you flip between screens. It's a much smoother transition.
Yep. It's got 3 cameras on the back. It's got a wide angle lens, a regular one, and a zoom in lens. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM. You can get it up to 12. Mine has 8, and then 256 gigabytes of memory. How about it?
I guess that's a lot.
How many pictures is that?
That's a lot. This laptop that we bought from 2005 does not have nearly as much memory on it.
It's running Intel Pentium
1.5. The battery is 4,000 milliamp. That's one of the biggest batteries out there. It is a really big phone. It's 6.7 inches, which insert your joke there if you'd like to. One of the features of it is the selfie camera. The screen goes cover to cover, so there's no watermark, there's nothing in there that's going to have a little camera, but it does have a pop-up camera. I'm going to watch that. The little pop-up selfie camera just comes right up the top.
Nice.
Look at that. Isn't that kind of handy dandy? I would
break that thing
I think
off.
it's the dumbest thing known to man.
You've got to have the technology to take a picture of yourself whenever
you have to. But I will say, watch, if I drop it, it automatically goes, and it says that it's been detected that you dropped it.
Well, that's good.
So it retracts by itself.
Okay, maybe it is Brandon proof.
Yeah. So, and they dropped it. They put a weight on it, and it could hold up to 40 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it's it's
sturdy. Okay,
it's a little pop-up camera that comes up the top, and you can take your pictures and whatnot with it.
Okay,
and then it goes back down when you're done.
I bet a week's pay my 13-year-old could break it inside of 72 hours.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. The one thing that I do want to draw attention to on the OnePlus is you can't go to like Verizon. The only one that you can go to is T-Mobile. That's the only one they have a contract with. But you buy this phone outright, and for all those people that say, I don't want to get stuck into a monthly contract, this one you just buy outright. It works for Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, all those. Just put your SIM card in, and you should be good to go. And and you don't get stuck in the contract. And this is a very, very powerful phone, flagship phone. And the retail cost on that was $699.
Damn,
which is really cheap for just buying a phone outright.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with those specs. I mean, those are some monster specs. It's also 5G. So when 5G comes out, it's ready to roll for that as well.
I guess it runs on the Android system, right?
It is an Android phone, not an iPhone or anything like that. So it is Android, but it's got a very smooth operating system. Usually what happens is if you buy a phone at Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, whatever. So Android, they have their Android phone, and then Verizon will put their stuff on it, or Samsung will put their stuff on it, and then so it's called bloatware. It just makes it more bloated and not useful.
It's kind of like when they bring out the chips and salsa, but they add the cheese dip to it also.
Then you become more bloated.
Yeah, because by the time you order your Speedy Gonzalez combo times 2, that
you're hurting.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, throw a margarita in there, and you're really.
But anyway, so this is a very light skin, so it has Android, and then it has a little bit of their stuff that they add to it, but none of the Verizon apps or anything like that. So it's a really good phone. I've had it for a week. The one thing that I would say that I'm not 100% sold on is the camera. It's a good camera. It's if you're going to take food pics and that kind of stuff, it does great. But if you really want that detail, you can take a great picture, but you have to go edit it. I did have a Pixel before, and all of that was kind of processed through the software. This, you can go into the software and tweak it to make it look really good. But other than that, it's a really good, solid phone. It comes with a case, charger. Also, the charging, the battery will last all day, but if you charge it for 15 minutes, it goes to 100% power all the way.
Wow.
So it's a really quick charge. So it's a good.
Does it have any of the wireless charging technology?
It does not have wireless. The negative piece on this is it's not wireless, and it's not waterproof. You can drop it in water. There's tests where you can, but they don't get the IP certified. And they said that would raise the price $50 per device if they added that. So they opted out of that. The wireless charging, they said, because it takes too long to charge it, they just went with the regular one. It is USB-C as for a charger, and there's no headphone jack, which that kind of hurt us on the episode this week. So
it's got to be Bluetooth.
Everything has to be Bluetooth. Yeah, I did order an adapter that can go on the bottom of it, and then you can plug stuff in. But other than that,
wow.
Anyway, all that to say, it's a decent phone. If you,
I may convert.
I'm actually up for changing out here pretty soon. So mine's starting to slow down and actually cracked the screen a little bit last weekend.
Oh no!
Yeah, once that starts, man, you can basically shave with your phone.
Yeah. The other positive thing that the company does is you can do referrals. So if you want to buy this phone, I can put a link out on the website. I don't care, but you can do a referral, and then you use my code, and then I get money. But then if you go to trade in your phone, you get a really good amount when they come up with an upgrade. The last version, you get up to $350 for the trade-in for the new phone. So that's a really good thing. You don't get that with the others nearly as much. So you get some, but not nearly as much. Anyway, it's a good little selling point. Good phone.
OnePlus
is what this one is.
7 Pro.
Yep. I feel like a pro with it.
And you can only buy it at T-Mobile. So I can go in T-Mobile and be like, I want your phone, but I don't want your service.
You can buy it at T-Mobile using T-Mobile. Sorry, I should have been more clear on that. Or you just go to their website, oneplus.com, and then you buy it outright. It's unlocked, and they just send it to you, and you put it in your SIM card, and you're ready to go. If you want to look at it, though, you got to go to T-Mobile and play with it.
Gotcha.
The other thing though, but look at this. I don't know how much how much you guys care, but the back on this is really sexy. So I got the Nebula Blue.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Is that named after Nebula from the Avengers?
It may be.
I mean, it's about the same color as her skin.
Is it?
So, yeah.
I had no idea about it. Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. It could be. Anyway, good phone. I like it. So that's the hot topic of that.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up on that one. Yeah,
all right.
I'll give you that one. All right. So the other issue that I wanted to talk about is the emotional support dog. There was an attack on Delta from a quote-unquote emotional support dog attacked a person, and now the person is now suing Delta and the owner for the dog, saying Delta did not check to see if A, it was an emotional support dog, or B, like if it had any behavioral issues on the flight. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I wanted your all's take on that.
Well, I'll throw out this to start with. I know as a business owner, I've been told that if someone comes in with a dog that's identified as a service dog, I'm not allowed to ask them to prove it.
Oh,
so I don't know if there's a different level of security for airplanes. I'm assuming there probably is. I mean, I know I have to go through a different level of security to get on a plane than I do to, go just about anywhere else in the world. But I don't know. But I know for me, if someone comes in with a dog and says, this is my service animal, I'm not allowed to ask them to prove it.
Interesting. This, the victim had 28 stitches. And it lost the sensation around his face. This dog was supposed to be the emotional support dog. Now he's going to need an emotional support dog when he flies. The victim will be. I think that we've gone way, way, way too far on the emotional support. Was this animal there just because its owner was incapable of flying without the support of another being? Yeah.
I mean, so that's the only reason an animal's there is like their anxiety is so high that they can't get on a plane without something to cuddle.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. It wasn't an issue where they were blind or they were disabled and they needed an actual animal. They just had it as an emotional support because they were sad or anxious about flying.
I mean, most people handle that by stopping at the bar in the airport and having a couple of drinks before they get on the plane. I mean, I don't like to fly either, but I'm not going to bring my 100-pound Labrador or 100-pound
Labradoodle
on the plane with me.
Yeah, it was a chocolate lab pointer mix.
Oh man!
I mean, that's a big dog to go on a flight. It was going from Atlanta to San Diego, which we all know is Spanish for. But I mean, that's a long flight. But y'all.
That's a big dog, and I mean, labs are some of the most gentle, sweetest animals in the world. Something had to set that thing off. I mean, I've never met a lab that it's just a big cuddle.
Yeah.
Sorry, so the ADA says that you can ask 2 questions as a business owner. It says business owners and staff are only allowed to ask 2 questions regarding service dogs. They may ask if the dog is a service animal that is required due to a disability, and what type of work or task does the dog been trained to do. You're not allowed to ask what the person's disability is.
Right. And I'm not allowed to ask them to prove that it is a service dog. Like, I'm not allowed to ask them you have to prove to me that's a service dog.
Well, most people who have service dogs have the draped over because, service dogs are trained to work. They also they wear the cute little vests and things like that. Says "Do not pet, please," because they're working.
You can buy one of those vests online.
Oh no, sure. I don't doubt that, but I'm just saying that like most people that have a service dog that's been paid for by a charity or a government entity will have that credentials and stuff. I actually think they have the little papers and stuff that says, "Hey, I'm working dog" or whatever. So, but you'll have those jackholes who buy it off Amazon next day because they want to take it to a brewery or
a restaurant or whatever,
or Home Depot, Lowe's.
Home Depot and Lowe's allow animals.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Do you remember the story where the was at Home Depot at the checkout line? The dog walked in, took a dump on the floor, and the owner just looked at the Home Depot worker like, "Are you going to clean that up?" and just walked off. I'm like, "Oh no!"
I would have lost my job at Lowe's that day.
Yeah. I would have been. Yeah, somebody would have. And it's not the dog's fault. That's the owner's fault.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, 100%. If the owner should have at least picked it up and cleaned it up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
But why do we feel the need to take our dogs into Home Depot? Like, what are they going to do? Pick out the paint color? Like, I don't understand that.
I will say I've done it. I've been out running errands, or I've taken my dog to the vet or whatever, and I'm on my way home, and there's something I need to grab real quick, and instead of leaving him outside in a hot car,
I'll
but that's exception to the rule. We're talking about people that travel.
This isn't my daily routine. It's something. Oh, I need to go grab this. I'm going to take him in because I know he's well behaved.
Right. That dog. To set the context, it was a very cold day outside, so it wasn't going to heat up or freeze to death. It was enough where the dog would have been comfortable in the car.
But you got to think about the most common dogs I see that people walking around. You got the Chihuahuas, you got the Poodles. They're walking around in a store.
These are all big dogs.
I'm talking about the ones that sneak them into grocery stores.
Oh,
I see them all the time. It drives me nuts. I'm like,
why do you?
Come on, lady. I mean, I know your poodle's hair matches yours because you got the poof hair, but
right.
you ain't got to bring them into the store with you.
Yeah.
Oh, the old Walmarts. And Target. Yeah.
We just feel like we're entitled to take our dog anywhere we want. And by goodness, if somebody tells you you can't do that, then you got to pitch a fit. It drives me bananas. No pun intended.
I agree.
Do you think this guy is going to win this lawsuit?
I think it comes into what are the rules for airlines? What are they allowed to do? What they can and can't do? I think if it comes out that they're allowed to vet these animals and nobody bothered to run a check on it, and that animal has a history, somebody's going to write a check.
I think it's going to come out the dog was probably not a service dog.
Oh yeah,
because I've seen some service dogs who they don't give a flip about what's around them. They only care about the person they're supposed to...
What they're trained to do.
Yeah, trained to do.
Yeah.
So for the dog to have attacked someone, either A, the guy was being a jerk to the dog, aggressive to the dog, or B, this dog was not a service dog and just, someone ordered a service dog uniform from Amazon Prime.
I don't think that was the case. From what it sounded like in the article, that it's just an emotional support dog, and that they said, this is my emotional support dog. It's going to come with me on the flight. Wow. And they said, okay. So
that's a problem for me.
This comment is not made for the people who have true PTSD.
Sure,
okay,
100%.
So PTSD, like people that really honestly need something that they feel they connect with. I'm talking about the people that try to skirt that.
Right,
like the people that bring emotional peacocks and goldfish and things like that.
Right.
People that try to skirt this little loophole that people who truly need something out there. Those are the jackholes that ruin it for everybody else.
Sure.
I mean, come on. Honestly, for the people that have just said, hey, I need an emotional support animal, but really don't. I mean, come on. Driving a car if you got to have your dog with you that bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just
I'm not calling names, but I know people that have taken flights with their dog saying it's an emotional support dog because they didn't want to kennel the dog for X amount of days that they've gone.
I can't stand that. Just be up and up about it.
Yeah. Pay the extra money to...
Or board your dog.
Board the dog or pay the extra to put him underneath and fly him over there. Don't say it's your emotional support dog. And there's emotional support squirrels, peacocks, what have you, parrots. I think we did a story on that.
Yeah. How about if we just have emotionally crazy people?
Yes. Let's deal with that.
And, I mean, sooner or later, we have to accept that there are varying degrees of people who just can't deal with the world we've created. And if they can't deal with it, and they've got to make up these crazy, I need an emotional support peacock. I mean, what pharmaceutical cocktail are you on to even come up with that?
Yeah.
And it's just got to, it's got to end somewhere. I mean, we can't even call abnormal anymore. It's like there's so many abnormal
100.
that there's just no rhyme or reason. Right. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are things you can't do.
You got to know your limits.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if just because you may have some limits that other people don't, that's okay. Yeah. It's okay. You're all right.
And the entire world should not have to accommodate your limits.
Right. Look, I'm a biggin. If I got to buy 2 seats on the plane, I got to buy 2 seats on the plane. That's my choice. That's my deal. I got to deal with it. So anyway, I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about.
I agree. I mean, I think it's funny how many topics we talk about on the show that always come back to mental.
Just have common sense, y'all.
Lack of common sense,
right?
Or or the proliferation of mental illness.
Yeah.
If you want to call it mental illness. I mean, some people, I'm not sure it all is mental illness. I think some
or
of it's
just people trying to
be sharp,
find a loophole due to other people's mental illness, because people have
trying to be cool.
Look
at
me.
me.
Sense of entitlement. I want what I want, and I don't care what I have to do to get it.
Welcome to our new world, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have Brandon Crouch. He is the host of the Appetite for Discussion on StatesVegas Radio. So we'll be right back. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. On today's show, we have one of our, partners and loose partners in crime on StatesVegas Radio, Brandon Crouch. He has a small little show that's growing super fast called Appetite for Discussion. I guess you probably picked that up from Appetite for Destruction, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. There's no hiding that.
You got do you have shirts that actually?
I have shirts that have
mimicked after the
not the album cover, but it has a podcast of Mike and says Appetite for Discussion around.
That's awesome, man. That's what we need. We need to get big like that. We need to have
one of these days.
The Mike hats.
Okay.
What do they call those? Mic hats. And they come out to interview and they have a little square thing around the mic. And
like, like the promo boxes.
When he was on 2 weeks ago, called those mic flags.
Oh,
Mike flags.
There it is.
Yeah,
Okay. I like that.
I thought they were called Mike condoms, but whatever.
Careful, it's a family show.
For your protection.
Hey, try to be safe.
So anyway, like I said, he has a show called Appetite for Discussion. You can find him on the Facebook Lives. You can go to States Vegas Radio. What days do you air again?
So we record on Tuesday nights, and you can find my show on the YouTube channel, Appetite for Discussion, and you can also find it on all of your major podcasting platforms.
Good. Yeah, it's been an interesting show. I've been able to catch it for probably the last 5 or 6 weeks now, and I think one of the first ones I joined on was just an interesting discussion. And I fully believe what Brandon talks about is having a forum to talk and not getting at each other's throats. And you can shake hands before and then also shake hands afterwards and go have a beer or an adult beverage or a glass of tea, whatever your denomination says you can do. And civil discourse is something we're kind of starting to lack. And I love being able to have educated conversations with people still. And sometimes we just can't have that anymore. Mm-hmm. And anyway, that's one thing I really appreciate about your show. I apologize for taking up the Facebook Live sometimes with all my questions, but that is what it is. So.
No, man, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for the compliment, and thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it, and it's an honor. And,
all right. Yeah. Well, where we always start, why in the hell would you just start a podcast?
Well, it's a good question, right? And a lot of people have asked me, why would you do that? And, I travel quite a bit, and I was sitting around, a few things. I was sitting around, and I noticed in restaurants and hotels and airports that people sit there and they're stuck in their phones, man. Nobody's talking. Mm-hmm. You got families or guys out to lunch, and they're just sitting there not communicating. And I just think it's going to become a lost art form, like the handwritten letter. Right, we're all going to be sitting there texting and we're going to be talking in emojis before you know it.
Sure,
and
we're going to go back to the hieroglyphics.
It's true though, right? It's all going to come full circle.
You just can't use the OK symbol anymore.
Upside down.
Right, that's exactly right. You can't. But that's another subject. And it's something I'm interested in talking to people, and I enjoy talking to folks. And I think everyone has a story, and I think regardless of where people come from and what their background is, everyone has a story that they can tell that's interesting.
Absolutely.
And I like to hear it. I like to hear good stories, and I like to hear people tell some tales, and you can learn from folks, and that's the thing. Once we stop communicating, we stop learning from one another. And with this past election season, there were, regardless of who you voted for or who you didn't, there were people who voted for Trump that weren't invited to family Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I just think that's completely ridiculous. We're humans, right? And we have the ability to talk to one another, and we can agree and we can disagree, but we can still be family and friends. And so I just told my wife, I was like, I want to start a podcast, and we'll just see what kind of happens and where it goes. And, the first episode was my cousin coming on talking, and he had a few beverages, and he ended up, hurling the chicken wings into the trash can.
That's an excellent podcast.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought too. And then it's kind of grown. And I feel very fortunate, and I'm happy where the direction it's going. Within the last month, we've had I've had the fortunate opportunity to have Charlie Engle, who is a world-class ultra runner, best-selling author, come on the show. Matt Damon.
That was a good interview.
Yeah, and Matt Damon produced a documentary about him running the Sahara, and he's got this new project called Project 5.8, where he's going to go from the Dead Sea to the top of Mount Everest. And the point of that is the difference in elevation is 5.8 miles, and we all live in that 5.8 realm, right? All of us humans we're in that same space, and we have to learn how to share it. It had Jeff Ryan on, who's a well sought after shock manufacturer. For the last 30 years, he designed a shock that's been used in NASCAR and IndyCar, open car, motorcycles, and all sorts of stuff. And he's done a lot of cool stuff. Worked with Elon Musk on the Hyperloop and some SpaceX stuff, and with the military and making these shocks for knee braces. And he said no to a lot of different interviews and podcasts, but he said yes to mine, so I appreciate him.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Coming on for that. And, just this past week we had, Marcus Lemonis, the CEO of, Camping World, and he's on the hit show on CNBC, The Prophet. He called in and spoke with me and Julius.
Right now, for our listeners, especially not in this Charlotte greater metro area, why did you have him on for the show?
So for those who don't know, there's a big controversy. So a little backstory: Camping World flies, one of their brand symbols is a huge 40 by 80 American flag, and that's part of their brand. And there's roughly about 12 cities, I believe, around the country who have a problem, like it's a city ordinance issue. The flag's too large. And Statesville just happened to be one of those. So this rule came about arbitrarily, this city ordinance in 2014, before Camping World put up their 40 by 80 American flag. And they had made a change to the city ordinance, increasing the original size up to 25 by 40. Well, that's not what Marcus flies. He flies the 40 by 80. He's not going to fly anything smaller. So they started flying the flag, and apparently there was an agreement reached by Camping World in the city to the new flag size that was signed. Marcus says that he didn't sign it. Someone on their behalf signed it. Then he would have never signed it because that's not what they fly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right. So they've been fining him $50 a day since October, and the fine is now about $12,000, and it started making national news. So, and I think it's making our city. It's not making Statesville look good, right? Because the talk is not the ordinance. The talk is the city is not allowing an American flag to fly. Okay, there's a little bit more behind it than that, but that's the gist of it, right? And everybody wants the American flag to fly,
right? So
I tweeted at Marcus early that morning. I texted my buddy and told him, I was like, hey, local Statesville guy, I have a Statesville podcast, Appetite for Discussion, love to have you on to talk about it and get your side of the story, and open invitation, phone interview, whatever you want to do. So I text a buddy of mine, Kevin Head, and he texts him, come on the show, whatever. I text Julius, and Julius texted him and basically said the same thing and whatnot. And so actually Marcus ended up replying back to Julius and told him he would call in. So I was doing a show that night, and Julius saw the text, or actually it was a tweet, and kicked me under the table and was like, look. And I was like, he was like, what are we going to do? And I was like, we're going to answer the phone. That's what we're going to do.
Right, sure. If
the man actually calls, So, and if you've ever watched the show, The Prophet, Marcus, I believe, is a man of his word. And if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And he did it. So he called in, and he didn't have to do that. And I've said this before. He can go on CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, ABC, Fox, or whatever. And as a matter of fact, he did our show on Tuesday night, and the next morning he was on Fox Business giving them an interview. But he gave our little show and our little station an opportunity to get his word out to the people on his side of the story. And I just appreciate him doing that. Like I said, he has a reach that none of us will ever know. Sure. So he can go anywhere to talk to anybody and say what he has to say.
So, but of course, this show will air on a Monday.
Okay.
So, as of right now, Statesville has agreed to allow him to fly the flag.
Yeah. So, literally, as I'm coming into the studio, there was a Facebook post that says the city has decided if I can find it here, that they're going to make an amendment or something to that effect, and I think the flag's going to be able to stay and fly. I haven't read the details of it. Like I said, I was just pulling in, and someone sent me said, good job. The city of Statesville has decided the flag's going to get to stay. I'm sure there's probably a couple caveats in there.
Yeah, always is.
Of where, maybe location of where the flag is going to be able to be flown or whatnot. But if it's true, I hope so. And I would like to say a special thank you to the folks on the council that voted for it. I know there's some people who still may feel like, rules are rules, but I feel like that's right. But there's right and there's wrong, and there's some common sense.
Also a little context too for our listeners that are not here. We just had right outside in the same county that Statesville's in is Iredell County here in North Carolina, and we had a officer for the Mooresville Police Department that was just shot. So this also comes on the back of that. So where you've had a couple of weeks of just emotional support in Iredell County for a fallen officer, and then all of a sudden Statesville City Council trying to basically whack off the knees to the American flag and blah blah blah. So
sure.
I mean, it kind of just, I'm sure that kind of probably raised more ears than normal with all that happening.
I think that has something to do with it, and I think honestly, I think I could be wrong. We're definitely not, the show and the station's definitely not trying to take any credit, but I think Marcus coming on to our show and actually giving an interview, and it was 30 minutes. I think that changed a lot of minds who are maybe on the fence, and it opened up people to see a different side of the story.
Gotcha.
And that's what my show is all about.
Sure.
Again, we can agree to disagree, but I may be able to change your opinion on something,
right? And
you may be able to change my opinion on something. What was the biggest drawback besides
he's breaking the law? What was the biggest?
Well, no one can really tell you why the ordinance was put in place in the first place, but I will tell you some of the biggest concerns people had. One of the concerns was, if we allow him to fly a flag of that size, then anyone can fly a flag that size. For example, they can fly a swastika flag, or they can fly an ISIS flag. And you know what? They're right. However, like I asked Marcus on the interview, in the 187 towns that you're in, how many ISIS flags and swastika flags have you seen that are 40 by 80 flying? And the answer is 0. And I think the people in the city of Statesville need to realize someone right now could fly a 25 by 40 ISIS and swastika flag, and you can't do anything about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they were going to...
the city can't do anything about it, but you'd have vigilante justice. Because I'm pretty sure you couldn't have a Nazi swastika flag flying over the local Dunkin' Donuts.
It wouldn't be there long.
Exactly.
well, that's true. But the point of that was if someone's going to fly, we'll call it a flag of hate.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
If they're going to fly that, they're going to fly it now because they can.
Right.
So it's not like 40 by 80 is the trigger, right? That's what broke the chains, and now I can go fly that flag.
Right.
Another thing that will stop people from doing that. The flag pole that supports a flag that size, Marcus says, costs $90,000.
I bet.
Wow.
The flag itself costs $30,000, and they replace it annually. So $120,000 will stop you from flying a flag that size unless you're just independently wealthy.
Right.
Obscenely wealthy.
Right.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, you can just drop it on a flagpole and a flag. Yeah.
All right.
It's not like you can go to the old Home Depots and get that.
Yeah. No, it's not
Or
going to
Amazon.
happen.
How much is a giant middle finger to put up? Remember that story?
New
that
Hampshire.
guy. Yeah.
Someone actually brought up a good point to me last night. My neighbor, he said, what if somebody actually had the, cojones to fly something like that?
Right.
He's like, it's actually, it is a bad thing, but it would let you know where somebody stands and who they are and to stay away from.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine if people did put up a bunch of little flags of hate,
And that's one, but kind of on just more of a microcosm level. That's the reason why I hate when Facebook bans people.
That's right.
Because I want to see what they represent. I want to see.
Yeah, let's see.
If they're dressing up and making fun of other races, or if they're out there spewing their vitriol, I want to see that. Why ban it from me? Because I want to know who the kid is bagging my groceries. I want to know the lady next door to me. these are all the things.
I want to peek behind the curtain.
Exactly.
What's going on over there?
I want to see where the sausage is made.
That's right. Interesting about Facebook, Julius and I
was really hoping you were going to say interesting fact about sausage making. I guess that didn't work out.
That's on the next show. That's my, gets me back in.
Sure.
So I'd posted 1 minute video of Julius and myself kind of explaining, kind of breaking news. Marcos Simonis came on the show talking about the American flag, blah, 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 blah. And I tagged a ton of people in it because I was trying to really get the word out. Mm-hmm. And that video is no longer available to be viewed.
Oh, really?
And I found that out last night. And I'm thinking,
theory.
Well, but why? Mm-hmm. It's not.
Right.
It's not. It says content not available, may be taken down by the owner. Blah blah blah. Well, I'm the owner, and I can tell you, I didn't take it down.
Oh.
Dude, there's a Facebook Live video of me videotaping my kids like slip and sliding still on Facebook from 2006. I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the smartest dude in the world, so maybe I did something wrong.
We'll start making anti-Zuckerberg Facebook videos and just posting them. So
the video is being taken down, and the easy way to do it is flag it for copyright content, and it gets flagged and taken down until somebody manually reviews it. So if somebody didn't like your video, they can say, "Oh, this may be a copyright infringement." They'll report it to Facebook. Facebook will pull it down until the algorithm will pull it down until somebody reviews it and goes, "Oh, he owns that content. Let me put it back up." And unless you complain, they probably will never.
Well, I'll try to figure out. I'll find the 1-800 number and give them a call. But that's a problem with the machines, right? It's an algorithm. There's not that human behind it going. Right. Wait a minute, that's Brandon. He's wearing the Appetite for Discussion shirt. He's with the StatesVegas Radio symbol in the background.
Right.
This is where they do their shit. So seems like there's a flaw in the system.
Sure.
I'm sure there's more than a couple flaws.
Yeah, I would say it's not so much a flaw in the system. I think it's a directive from on high in Facebook to censor certain content.
Well, I think you will 100%. And we've seen, look, we all know they can say it's not true or not, but, conservative thought and conservative platforms are being censored on multiple platforms, across social media, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. So, but interestingly enough, Instagram still has the video. So,
really?
Huh. How about you?
Well, but just talking about things being banned, the OK symbol. We talked about people getting banned from stadiums. Now they have I think Tim Cook announced that the new the new iPhone update will no longer have the OK emoji.
Me.
That's what I read. Wow.
Is it not crazy that a nut punch game has turned into turned into this? Was it white power? Is that what they're supposedly means?
Right.
But if you hold it a certain way, that's what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah,
you're doing it in the studio, and I'm looking at you, seeing if you look at it, because I'm going to punch you if that's good.
No, I'm not. See, I grew up.
Yes,
I grew up with the Major League games. So
sure.
I'm not going to look at it.
You kind of know what's coming. I'm not looking.
I would have never. I mean, who took? How did that even come about? That's what that supposedly means.
Here's where some of these things happen.
That's the question: is who's the person that is declaring on high? This is what this means now.
Well, some of this happens in the internet world, like on 4chan or Reddit. Like 4chan just has a new movement right now.
Didn't he just drop a new album? Oh, that's 4chan.
I don't listen to K-pop.
LMNOP.
Yeah. Anyway, so a lot of the stuff like 4chan, these trolls come up with ideas. Their newest one is the hashtag symbol is white supremacy. I don't know if you've seen this or not. Have you seen this one, Marty? All right, so the new one is 4chan is trying to get the hashtag symbol banned, and it is the most ingenious thing. Obviously, if you think about it, is ingenious because a lot of social media algorithms and stuff, now you have to have the hashtag in it to be part of that group.
Yeah.
So 4chan successfully gets this thing going. I think it's going to be phenomenal. But 4chan's also had several other great trolling things. One of the best ones ever was the free bleeding movement.
Oh my gosh!
Where the ladies were celebrate your time of the month, and
Lord.
that started. The movement started on 4chan. So
can you explain to people what 4chan is? Because there's a lot of people that don't know.
I don't even know either. Now, the 4chan is this internet board that you can post things. You can post. Be honest with you, 4chan is more for trolls, more for misinformation, information. I mean, they've actually done some pretty cool things. I don't know if you remember the 2016 meme war where they were just Pepe the Frog. meme for Trump election, things like that came out of 4chan. They came up with a lot of great memes for the 2016 election. So anyway, 4chan is just a collaboration. It's basically an image board for the interwebs where people can go on there and post anonymously. And 4chan took down the Shia LaBeouf flag. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh,
where
that's right.
He will not defeat his flag or whatever it was that Shia LaBeouf had. 4chan is the one. The group of 4chaners actually found the flag like in Serbia or whatever, based off of wind directions and airline patterns and things like that. So I don't want to piss these guys off.
Sure.
In fact, if I could piss them off to make our iTunes ratings better, I would like any 4chaner out there to do that. It'd be great.
Hashtag SFP Radio.
Yeah. So
it's basically now we're all racist.
So basically a forum board for to be able to post things. So.
Okay. But it could be misinformation. It could be information. It could be real. You just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but it's divided into basically two specific groups for 4chan. I'm more familiar with Reddit, because Reddit, you can have subtopic Reddits and things like that. So, but 4chan is I don't know. They've done some master trolling, and like I said, the free bleeding, the Shia LaBeouf, now trying to take down the hashtag symbol. I mean, they've done some creative things.
So it's a group of an organization of people that may give you true information and then may give you false information just to get you all in a panicky mode.
Exactly. Like, for example,
so it sounds a whole lot like Fox News.
It sounds like sounds like news,
right? Just news in general.
Yeah. So, but the best example I can give you is this free bleeding movement. I keep going back to it. But
please, I also hate you going back to that.
In 2004, there was a story of a woman runner, marathon runner, and she all of a sudden had time of her month while she was running the marathon. Well, instead of stopping, she decided to run the whole marathon like that to highlight women in poverty areas or homeless women that may not have the ability to take care of that. So fast forward to 2012 or 14, 4chan grabs a hold of this story and reinvents it to where all of a sudden you had women, to shout out your feminism, decided to do the same thing. So all of a sudden you had just this loose group of women out there demonstrating their time of the month. So that was an excellent trolling event. So they took a true story and then trolled it.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, I feel like maybe the people who did that should have maybe done a little bit more research because they were being trolled. Because I feel like there were women who did that, but were they doing it under the right pretense though?
I think what it is, it just gives us a cross section of how gullible people can be in our society, because you see it on Facebook, you see it on the Twitters, you see it on the Instagram where people will repost something in a hurry. Mm-hmm. It may have a great clickbait title or something that.
You're talking about Facebook and people trolling and people clickbait. People share The Onion so much and think that it is real. Like, they don't even read it's The Onion. Yeah. They have no idea that it's a joke.
Better yet, Babylon Bee.
I got
that's a new one for me. I don't know what Babylon Bee is.
Babylon Bee is the kind of like Christian,
it's kind of the Christian version
Christian
of the
humor
Onion.
of Onion. Oh, dude, they have some classic titles on there that they'll make you crack up. So you have to subscribe. It don't matter if you go to church or not. Babylon Bee is.
Yeah, there's something going around right now, and I don't even know if it's it might be a hoax as well. But Babylon Bee got a letter from Snopes saying one of their articles had been fact checked and proven false.
So here's the headline from Babylon Bee: Man vows to love people who are different than him if he ever meets one.
No, it's a great source for just clean satire.
Yeah.
But it's slow giving.
After being told to go find his shoes, a local boy miraculously got struck with blindness like Saul on the road to Damascus.
Just speaks to us, those kids. So, I think the first one was after Hurricane Katrina. Not Katrina, but what was the one in Houston?
These are kidding me. Groot in hot water after recent "I am Groot" comment.
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah. I got to stop. Harvey. Okay, Hurricane Harvey hits Houston. Yeah. Well, you remember Joel Osteen would not open the basket of the Rockets arena. Well, there was a Babylon Bee that had an article that said Joel Osteen takes his yacht out to hand out massive copies of like "Live Your Best Life," and that's what put them really on the stage. Was that one? Yeah. The headline, everybody started following them.
But it is funny because my wife and I, when we have discussions about things, we have to specify. I read this article, or I just read the entire article, not just the headline. Like, we have to make that distinction.
That's
I saw
important.
the headline versus I read the actual article.
But we hit clickbait that hits our confirmation bias. You know, if we lean in one boat or not,
Absolutely.
or another, we on it. That's the reason why clickbait's designed that way. And an article could be totally skewed a different way, but we hit that clickbait title if it confirms our confirmation bias.
Well, and we also get stuck in that echo chamber, right, where we keep, we only listen or watch those
People
things that
echo what we think.
Yeah.
See, that's where you got to be careful. I try my best to, try to put my feet in the pond of the other opinion and listen to what they have to say. There are times where I have to walk away because I'm like, there's no way you believe what you're saying.
The flat earthers.
And that can right, and that can happen on both sides too. Because there's some conservatives. I'm like, what? There's no way you believe what you're saying. But you have to, otherwise you're in your same little echo chamber, and what you're complaining about on the other side, you're doing the same thing.
Sure. Yep.
So,
but it's invaluable to listen to other people's opinion that you don't agree with.
Sure.
Like JT shared a book with me, which we were supposed to talk about sometime.
One of these days.
And I had the opinion of going in that I knew that I would not like this book. But I read it because he challenged me to, because it's not how I see the world. It's not how I've experienced the world. But I want to read it through someone else's eyes. But it gave me great material to highlight. I mean, I highlighted the whole book, or not the whole book, but I highlighted a lot of passages. But also, it either A, digs you in deeper to your conviction, or it does open up to look through some other people's eyes. And I have been changed by other people's opinions, not going to the dark side or anything like that, but it allows you to see how people view things through their lens of their eyes. So
And that's the last time I'm going to give you green eggs and ham to read.
one fish, blue fish was what it was.
Well, I think listening to other people also helps you develop compassion, because you get the viewpoint of, I may disagree with you in your opinion, but if I know your story, I know how you got to that opinion.
That's right.
And I can have compassion for you and how you got there. And that's a whole different topic. That's a whole different way of communicating with somebody if you can understand where they're coming from. I may, like I said, disagree with you all day long, but I know the background of how you got there, and that makes it all a lot easier for us to talk to each other now.
Right.
But back it up, you said listen. That's a power that we don't even have now, of learning how to listen.
And that's part of a hashtag I started.
The white supremacist hashtag got you.
That might okay. No, it's hashtag listen, laugh, and learn. And I feel if we can do, if someone listens to the show and they take away, one of those three, we're doing something right.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
hopefully,
And isn't that interesting that you have to say, hey, we need to listen to each other, coming from a podcast that's just talking the whole time,
Yeah, but people are tuning in because they value your opinion.
Yeah.
So, and maybe love to hear your voice. I don't know.
Maybe. Speaking, a side note, we've had, the foster kid, and he's now addicted to the Sleep Whisper podcast.
Oh, jeez.
He's loving
Have you heard about those, Brandon?
no, I haven't.
All right, so there's this whole segment. It's a really fast-growing segment on podcast called ASMR, and it is basically just this sensory ovaries.
Ovaries?
Did you say ovaries?
He said ovaries.
maybe minus the ovaries, but it's a listening sensory. Basically, stimulates the neurons in your brain, fires electronic or electrodes, whatever they call it in your brain. Anyway, there's various podcasts, and some of them are downright creepy. There's a guy who basically whispers short stories to you till you fall asleep. Or driving, I don't know.
I'm going to write this down because I'm going to listen to it.
There's a lady on the Facebooks, man. She probably has 500,000 followers, and she does pay subscriptions to listening to things of her rubbing her nails, and
That's so weird.
oh yeah, people are like caught up in it, man.
But have you seen the lady who brushes her hair?
See, that's the same one of the same things.
Yeah.
If you saw the lady eating celery and peanut butter, the black lady who was. No, she's eating like celery and peanut butter. She has her own channel.
Dude,
I didn't say hashtag.
Here we go.
And she records that?
Yeah,
and people listen to that.
yeah. She, I think last time I saw one of her the video where.
All right, here we go.
I'm Harris, and this is my curious little podcast.
This is so creepy in my headphones, man.
Right. Oh, yeah. It's creepy without your headphones.
No, but the lady who did that with the cucumbers and pickles, I think that one video had almost 8 million watchers.
Keep in mind, Harris over here for Sleep Whispers, shout out to him. Right now he's on 169 episodes.
It's just cranking them out.
166 is Soothing Words with the letter T.
Stop it. But see, and this guy's probably, I mean, he's killing it. Yeah, he's probably making money hand over fist.
I think we should do appetite for discussion in whisper mode one day.
You know what? I tell you what, you guys, open invitation to come on the show. And the entire show, we're going to whisper.
Oh, man, that would be horrible.
I don't know. It might be kind of cool.
And it's hard. We actually tried to do the show like that one time, and it was so hard to do it. Just imitating him. It was crazy.
Now, what would make it fun is, if it was a non-family episode, every time someone laughed or spoke, like I'm talking now, you have to take a drink.
That'd be good.
Oh, there it is. Right
that
there.
Would be
That's
a PG-13 episode, right?
Yeah,
that's a SFP After Dark.
All I know is we do an appetite for discussion whisper episode, and Marcus Lamonis is going to call you back. Like, I got to invest some money in this idea. I love it.
I love your whisper cast.
Politics whispered.
Whisper, laugh, and learn.
Guys, he's got 149 Patreons with $588 a month.
Wow.
I'm just saying. What are we doing wrong? We are clearly doing something wrong.
Well, we need to do the whispering. We've talked about this before. Something. I don't know.
All right. Well, that's enough of that. I'm just fascinated by him.
So what? Obviously, you do this podcast. You do this live video. And once again, that's Appetite for Discussion or StatesVegas Radio. You can download the app, or you can go to their Facebook page and check them out. What do you go live? What nights?
So Julius, he has his own show, and he actually owns the States Vegas radio studio. So he does mainly his Facebook lives, and he has a States Vegas Radio YouTube channel as well. I don't do as much Facebook live. We've done a couple just to get people curious and interested and try to draw them to the YouTube channel and to download the podcast. But I record usually every Tuesday night. Life happens, right? People,
sure.
Life gets in the way of doing fun stuff. But we usually upload the episode the next day or two. So usually it's 3 to 4 episodes a month. And we again,
that's pretty good. Like you said, you have life that happens. I mean.
Yeah, and thank you to Julius and States Vegas Radio for giving me an opportunity to come on there. And without them, I would probably still be in my. Actually, I wouldn't. The show would be over because there's no way my wife would let me have 41 people over at the house in the living room while the kids are asleep.
Nice.
She would have been like, okay, well, this little pet project's over, and get your ass to bed.
Well, Mama says, Mama goes.
Mom said that like a little while ago, and I just say, I got to go to the store. Why are you gone for 2 hours? I don't know.
It's funny, so I record I got a couple sponsors, and so when I get back home, I'll record the sponsor stuff and give a little snippet of trying to describe what this latest episode was about. So when you're doing it, you might have to do a take or two, but my voice is typically pretty loud and annoying. So when I did the first one downstairs, and I was trying not to be loud, and it just came across weird.
Yeah.
So now I go in my truck. So I'm sitting in the front seat of my truck with the laptop and the Bluetooth speaker, and I'm talking into this microphone.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was telling my buddy Kevin, who actually owns the name States Vegas, I was telling him about it, and he was like, dude, you realize your neighbors are seeing you in your truck at 10:30 and they think with your laptop, and they think you're watching porn.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
or FaceTime and some other.
I was like,
your girlfriend did.
I didn't think of that. I'm really just trying to record commercials.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Good gracious!
But maybe one day we'll not have to do that.
Yeah,
I think I saw you. You just started another company, or you?
Yeah, that's right. My wife and I, a little over a year ago, we started a junk calling company called Hunk-a-Junk Calling.
Hunk-a-Junk.
Hunk-a-Junk. That's right. And you can find us at www.hunkajunkcalling.com.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, man, we stay busy. This has been a busy month for us. We did 25 jobs a month of May.
Wow,
that's a
lot of junk.
It's a lot of junk. That's right. And no, it's growing, and there's a need for it. And I've been pleasantly surprised, and we just acquired a box truck this past weekend. So people are going to be seeing that on the road with the Hunk-a-Junk logo wrapped. And if anybody needs anything, reach out to us. You can give me a call, 704-657-6778. And it's fun, man. I've always wanted to be my own business or own my own business, try something. And, so this is just a unique... I have to give all the credit to my wife because it was her idea. Okay, and she actually came up with the name. So I can take no credit other than working like a mule. Okay, and doing that. But it's time for me to get some help and kind of get out of my own way so the business can continue to grow. And hopefully it does well, and it continues to grow, and hopefully I want my kids to look at it and say, Dad tried something.
Yeah,
and if it grows, we can maybe leave them something other than bills.
Right. Yeah. No, I love small business and startups. Some of the greatest ideas come from just simple seeing a desire or a hole in the market, and you can kind of...
Or just eating peanut butter and celery. And
that
making
too.
YouTube videos.
That too. But
it's interesting, though. I didn't think I would be doing this part of it, which is actually kind of giving back, which I really enjoy that part, too, because you do come across some stuff that you don't want to throw away to the dump, right? So I go and we donate furniture to Fifth Street Ministries. So people who are homeless, they once they are finding an apartment or in a transition, they don't have to live at the shelter anymore. They don't have any furniture, so they can actually go downstairs into the basement and pick out some furniture for their house. So we try to help with that. So that's
awesome.
Yeah, cool. It's all about having fun, and obviously everybody likes to make money. For sure.
Sure.
Got to pay the bills, but it's also good to give back too. And that's something we like that.
I'm just going to throw this out there. You may want to consider, just throwing this out, going to the Goodwills where people just dump stuff off and picking that up and taking it.
Man, is that
just a thought.
So is that stealing?
No, absolutely not. You're just borrowing. You're going to give back to the community anyway.
That's right.
You're like Robin Hood.
You know what? I like it.
I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
I just would not go in your labeled box truck to pick it up.
Right.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's you got to rent the U-Haul. If you see something, you got to rent the U-Haul and then pick
that.
Or
just take your competitors.
That's right. I'm not taking it. I'm borrowing it.
Yeah.
It's for the greater good.
Yeah.
I'm giving back.
Have you had any interesting finds yet?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, a couple good finds. I have a limo golf cart. That was it's a sweet thing, man. The kids love it. I have 2-year-old twins, Dempsey and Sullivan. Yeah, they didn't want it anymore, so I took it to a friend of mine's dad, and he fixed it up or cleaned it up, and we just had to put some new batteries in it, put a new windshield in it. Yeah, man, it's I got the logo across the front, says Hunk-a-Junk Hauling.
That's awesome.
My wife's like, God, you and your shameless promotion. And I'm like, well, look, if we don't talk about it, who is? No one's going to know.
Yeah,
eventually we won't have to. But that was a great find. That was the find of the year so far. And there's been some good stuff like a telescope, and never thought I would want to look at the stars, but I am now.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's amazing the stuff that people get rid of, and they don't care. Like, I think people get to the point where like, I don't care how much we spent on that. Get it out.
Yeah.
And you, sir, junk man, do what you want with it.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just get it out. So, that's we feel that need.
We went through that about 6-8 months ago. We bought a new house and moved, and we hadn't moved in 20 years. I've been in the same house for 20 years, and I had accumulated stuff. And
Dude.
I was like, I just had somebody drop a dumpster in my driveway,
Yep.
and I just went through the house and said, if I haven't touched it in a year, unless it has extreme sentimental value, it's going to that dumpster. And that's what I did.
Have you guys seen, and I think it's going to help the junk world too, have you seen the Netflix show Tidying Up, or the Asian lady who comes into people's homes and teaches how to fold? Dude, it's going to change your life. Because you're going to get rid of so much stuff, and you're going to call me to get rid of that stuff.
But also, I also heard Goodwill was complaining about the show because they had an influx of so many donations.
Huh. Are you serious?
They could not. They were having to take on extra cost to store the items.
Well, I will tell you this. The Goodwill, I don't feel sorry for them one bit, because you give them your stuff for free, and they turn around and sell it and make 100% profit.
Oh, yeah.
So
and pay their employees a lot of times dirt.
Yeah. If you ever look at some of the, I guess they're a nonprofit, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the Salvation Army and Yokefella Goodwill, and you look at like how much money they bring in, how much their CEOs make, it may change your mind of where you take that donation.
Yeah, I think the local ministries like Fifth Street, those are the places where you see the real need going. And those are the places I would definitely donate to. Find a local. Or right here in Cabarrus County, we have CVAN, which is the Cabarrus Violence or Victims Advocacy Network or something like that. So anyway, basically women who have criminal or domestic abuse perpetrated on them, they have a shelter, and where this thrift store helps support that shelter. So we donate stuff to them all the time.
Yeah, that's my neighbor, like literally across the street.
Oh, really?
Who started that? Yeah.
Wow. We need to have her on the show.
Yeah, dude. What are you waiting on?
We pass it along to Brandon too.
Sure.
There you go.
It's always good to have good stories.
Sure. Are there, doing podcasts, are there topics that you don't go there? Like you want to go there, but you just don't?
So I would love to tell you the answer is no. Like we'll talk about anything. But being that, unfortunately this is not how I make my living, and I am a professional in another arena, and I have an employer, and most everybody who comes on my show is the same. So you kind of have to be a little careful about what you say because, look, I don't ever want to lose my job over something controversial, over something I'm doing that's fun and literally trying to help people.
Yeah.
I have a good time, but it's also trying to initiate conversation and discussion, in a good, positive way. I would hate for it to ever be misconstrued and affect my personal life, or someone come on the show who has a small business or there's something in the community and they say something and that it affect them. If we were all, independently wealthy and, couldn't care less, then I think you have a little bit more free range to kind of say what you really want to, but there's ways for us to kind of get around that. So we all have to be somewhat filtered, which I kind of hate that in a way.
Yeah, I try to keep saying like, whoa, like in my own head, like I'm like, should I say that? Should I not? Because, you could easily somebody could take that the wrong way.
Oh, sure.
Listen from work. And then all of a sudden now it's, well, JT's doing hashtags.
Or, I could, be on the YouTube channel and look at somebody.
Stop it.
And give them that. Oh, you're getting a punch. And give them that symbol, but they're like, "Oh, did you guys know that he's a white supremacist because he tells somebody, dude, I love what you're doing."
Yeah, I didn't look at that one.
You didn't. I tried. It was perfect too.
Sure.
I saw a slight twitch in the eye though. You're like, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" Good restraint.
Part of the format is it gives you a little bit longer form to talk through things, and it's not the quick judgment of you got 140 or 280 characters to express a thought, and somebody can immediately take that the wrong way. I mean, there's a back and forth give and take that you can with the podcast. You've got an hour and a half that you can really get into a subject.
Absolutely.
If somebody wants to understand where you're coming from, they will. And the people that don't want to understand, well, they're not your audience anyway, and you don't really need them.
Yeah,
well, that's true. Yeah, but I encourage everyone to listen to all different types of podcasts and platforms because at the end of the day, you're just absorbing content and you're trying to learn from it. Some of it is kind of mindless white noise in the background.
Sure,
like ASMR,
dude.
Letters that begin with T.
I've got to write that down on the back. Can I have this? By the way, this is for me.
Yep,
I forgot your stickers in the car. I'm gonna run them back up here.
Here's a pen.
What's that guy's name?
It's Sleep Whisper Podcast.
Dude, I should have come up with something many years ago that I thought was just completely dumb.
Oh, yeah.
And like worked on it and then been sitting on a yacht somewhere because I was whispering in a microphone.
Like that.
You know where that idea came from is he had several dates fall asleep on him. I got to figure out how to make money out of this.
I wish that were true.
And it was ridiculous is, like, the kid watches these stupid, I hate YouTube at this point, these stupid videos, Steve Scherer, it's not the Doobie Brothers, but it's like the Duber Brothers, something like that. And these guys are making these stupid videos, but then he's like, "Hey, you want to go take a ride in the Lambo?" And he pulls out of a Lambo and just takes off. And
no, trust me,
they're making millions on these stupid videos.
How old are your kids?
They're 2.
All right, so hopefully you get cursed the way I did by watching these unpackaging videos.
No, we haven't started that.
Okay, well, good.
And I don't want to.
Good. I'm just going to constantly.
Don't send them to preschool.
Dude, that lady was one of the highest grossing people on YouTube in that category was for unboxing toy videos.
Y'all.
And there's a guy on there who has kind of a squirmy voice who does it too, and he's like, "Hey kids, I'm going to tell you a story today." And, I mean, you're like, "Oh."
Well, a couple of those kids got so big with those unboxing videos that they didn't even have to buy the toys anymore. The manufacturer would ship them to them, so they would make a video being unboxed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I am doing something wrong.
Right, we are clearly doing this wrong.
Doing something wrong.
Listen, all I'm trying to do is get a sleep number mattress. That's all I'm trying to do.
Good for you, man.
I think we need to do an unboxing video, but just do it whispering.
Oh, Maybe.
What if you did the show from you should reach out to them and see if you could do a show from a mattress store on a sleep mattress with you and your underwear laying on it.
Oh, listen, then that would turn into the Sleep Whisper podcast.
That would be the sleep snorer.
right. Where's my CPAP mask?
The only sleep whisper my wife gets is the in the middle of the night. That's me whispering at night.
It's your mating call.
Yeah.
We could unbox bourbon and whisper about it.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
There you go.
Maybe we should do a whispering bourbon podcast.
Yeah.
So, you
Not
guys
me,
are
though.
bourbon drinkers?
Yes.
Yeah? What do you like? What's your favorite?
Right now, I like the Weller 101. I like that one. The one that I'm dialed into now is the 1792 single barrel.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm just really hooked onto that one.
What is it about it you like?
It's sweet, but it's got enough flavor and depth to it that it's not like overpowering, but there's still something to it.
Okay.
And it like the small batch is okay, but the single barrel is the one that I really am just loving. That
1792? I'll have to check it out.
It's a hard one to get. It's got a little white. The top of it's got a little white wrapper on it. But it's a good little bourbon. I like it. It's about $39
Okay.
at the ABC store, so it's not super expensive, but it's a good little bourbon.
I'll check it out.
What about you?
I'm learning. So,
Yeah.
about the last 8 months or so, I've been trying to learn bourbons and what I like and what I don't like. And I usually go to I'll go to the liquor store, and I'm a cheap, so I find whatever's $30 and less, below. And so I try to find what's on sale. This was $34.95. Now it's down to $29. I'll get it.
Go down to it. Yeah.
What I've enjoyed here lately is Four Roses. That was good.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And I actually came across some Eagle Rare, which was very delicious.
Yeah.
And I can see why there's a lot of people who like to drink on that. Something else I thought that was really good. A guy who came on the podcast, Jeremy Shaw, brought some Elijah Craig. That was good.
Yeah.
That was very good. So I like those right now.
Yep. Eagle Rare is a good one. Have you tried the Old Forester 1920?
No, but I've seen it.
Yeah,
Is it good?
that one's pretty cheap, and it's a good one. It's my friend Chris. That's his go-to now.
That's
He
his
loves
go-to?
that. Yeah, and we've had E.H. Taylor, the single barrel, small batch. Sorry, and he likes the Old Forester 1920 more than the E.H. Taylor.
Really?
I still like the E.H. It's a little less harsh, but it's still a good bourbon.
How do you drink yours?
So, I was going just straight neat,
Yeah.
but then I've got the big ice cubes,
Yep.
and I'm really liking the big ice cubes. I don't like the small ones, but the big ice cubes, or just add a little bit of water to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm 2 ice cubes.
Okay.
And I don't care if I'm drinking bottom shelf or somebody's giving me, what was it? I like Scotch too, like Lagavulin 16-year.
Oh, yeah,
Two-
you're the Scotch guy.
2 cubes of ice, and that's how I like it.
Yeah.
Rock and rye. Just the fifth of rock and rye is what I like to drink.
Well, speaking of bourbon.
I'm on bourbon restrictions right now.
Yeah,
so.
at least on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of bourbon, we're not going to have a show next week because we're going to be on the bourbon trail.
When do we leave for that? I'm just
Thursday.
We can record Wednesday, can't we?
The wife has put the kibosh on that. Family time.
You know what?
So-
Speaking, you guys are married, right?
Unfortunately.
Wow.
But I do want to say, without the support of your wives and my wife, we
Sure.
wouldn't be able to come out here and do this show and do my show, and you guys have your show.
Yeah.
So, it is, I do appreciate, and I think sometimes the wives get kind of left out a little bit.
Marty, you okay over there?
I'm good.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, I was just thinking. I'm laughing because you guys are talking about your wives, and I come on every once in a while. My wife gives me hell about it sometimes.
Well, when we started this, I was just like, woman, this is what I'm going to do. She's like, all right. I'm
Woman.
just kidding. She didn't do that.
Yeah. I can tell you what's going to happen in my house if I start the conversation off with, woman,
Yeah.
I'm running.
I'm going to say, woman, I am sleeping on the couch tonight.
There you go.
So I'm going to tell you I love you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about the only
Right.
extent of that.
So once again, where can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find the show on Appetite for Discussion on all the major podcasting platforms. You can also find all the episodes on the YouTube channel, Appetite for Discussion. There's a web page too. You can see it on all the links. You can find some merchandise on there. But you can also download the States Vegas Radio app. And my show airs every Friday at 8 and Mondays, I think, at 6, right after your guys' show. It might be 5 o'clock. Oh, that's terrible. I should probably know that. But, yeah, download the States Vegas Radio app. It's 24 hours a day of music, all kinds of genres. And, always try to support local. And you guys have a show on there. Your show airs Mondays at 4?
Mondays at 6 and then Fridays at 4.
So I get the numbers messed up. I know we're Mondays and Fridays, yeah.
Yep.
So they go there. Any Facebook pages?
Have a Facebook page. Yeah, it's a Facebook, Appetite for Discussion, Instagram, Appetite for Discussion, and you can follow me on the Twitter. You can just look it up. Yeah, it's Appetite for Discuss 2. I don't know. Somebody had taken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But,
they had the idea. They just didn't follow through.
They didn't. Actually, I think full disclosure, I was trying to figure out how to do the Twitter, and I actually did it, but I forgot and couldn't remember my password.
I've done it before. I've done it before.
And I was like, damn it. And it locked me out. And it was like, in order for you to say this is you have to know the code. And like, I don't know the code.
Yeah. So you just created a new one.
And obviously, if we have any big landlords out there in the Iredell County, Rowan County, counties around Statesville in between Charlotte, this young man has started his business with Hunk-a-Junk hauling. He'd love to hook up with you. So
just to haul away the junk.
Just to haul away the junk. Hey, I did that. I started a business for a kid hauling junk, and we got a contract with a landlord who had 30 homes. And after one day of hauling out of Section 8 housing, I was like, I'm sorry, you can have it.
You can have it.
You can buy me out for $1.99 right now.
Because I didn't get a limo golf cart up in Lake Norman area. I got buckets of macaroni and cheese that had larvae in it, so that was not my...
Well, trust me, I've come across a lot of dirty houses, man.
I'm sure.
I bet you have.
But anyone could be a junkapreneur if you put your mind to it.
There you go. There you go. Plus, there's some cool finds. So
that's right.
Anyway, Brandon, we appreciate you coming on and driving all the way to us.
Hey, man, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for what you're doing. And congratulations on shows 100 and beyond.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And beyond.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Brandon Crouch with Appetite for Discussion. You can podcast. You can find him on pretty much all the podcast.
Aggregate?
Oh, jeez, I can't even talk right now.
I can't even get
my head is killing me.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can find him on any of the podcast apps. You can also find him on the States Vegas Radio app and the various other Facebooks and social media. So we really appreciate him coming on. As far as our show, please go to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast. Evidently, a lot of
like
people
me
listen
some
to Pocket
Cast.
That kind of sounds raunchy. But anyway, you can go to those. You can also go to our website. Let me back up. You can go to the podcast thing. We would love for you to go subscribe, give us a like, a rating, a review. Share those episodes with your family members that you deem funny and worthy and to pass along. We do appreciate all you new listeners out there, man. Our back catalog has been blowing up. It's kind of crazy to see that happen.
Sure.
For episodes, especially when we made them almost a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's kind of crazy to see those hit hard. So, but also go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy, our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com, our Instagram and Twitters at the old SFP Radio. What else am I forgetting?
I think that's about it. Again, just check us out at States Vegas Radio, 6 o'clock on Monday, 4 o'clock on Friday. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. And as always, keep looking up.